Hey y'all, today I want to talk to you about maps. I posted this map online a few days ago. What this is what Tony Buzan would call a mind map, or Janet Burroway in her book on fiction writing calls it clustering. What it is it's a kind of radial note taking where you kind of start in the middle of the page and then you kind of just let your mind go and you start listing things and putting little bubbles around the words and you just kind of like start in the middle and expand. And I wanted to show you how I do one. I usually draw some kind of funny picture of myself, so sometimes I'll do like a little like blind contour drawing of myself real quick, just a little thing to put in the middle here. Just some sort of starting point. That's all you really need. Is just some sort of image in the middle to represent the center. And then I just start listing things. So the first thing that I am really into this week is masks. I wrote a big long post about masks and specifically photographers who take pictures of masks. So I wrote about Ralph Meatyard. I wrote about David Wojnarowicz, who I always forget how to say his name, so I'm not going to write down his whole name. And then I wrote about Morath and her Steinberg portraits of Steinberg maps. So you can see how this kind of works is like you just start making words on the page, make little bubbles around them, and then you start to like see connections between them. So the other thing I'm really interested in right now is left brain, right brain, left right brain hemisphere differences. I know that sounds really fancy, but it's not. It's just there's a book by Ian McGilchrist. I'm reading. Let's see, Gilchrist. And a lot of this is just about kind of letting your subconscious take over, really. And I'm thinking a lot. I'm working on some drawing stuff for a client, and I've been thinking a lot about how left brain, right brain stuff affects drawing. There's a great book by Betty Edwards called Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain. So you can see how this starts happening, right? Like how you just kind of start letting your mind wander. And there's something about having the list like broken out into space that all of a sudden you can start to like sort of see connections. Like so in between the masks and the drawing, I've been thinking about faces and expressions. So I'm going to put that in there and I'm going to connect these two. And one of the things I have noticed, or one of the things I read about, was that in ancient Greek drama, they think the masks actually weren't super expressive so that the audience could project their own ideas onto the narrative. So I'm really into that. So I'm going to write down Greek masks, which I really should have put up here, but that's fine because we'll get to it later. I'm also reading a book called The Heroine's Journey that I really like. So I'm going to write this down here because I think it sort of connects to the Greek drama stuff. And there's a lot in The Heroine's Journey that's reminding me of my ideas about comedy. And then here, I'm going to write humor because it turns out that the right brain has a lot, the right hemisphere has a lot to do with humor. So I'm going to draw. So you can see how this starts, right? So this is just something for you to try. If you're, if you're interested. I'm going to write the Mandalorian here up at the top because I'm super into the Mandalorian right now because I'm about 2 years behind everyone else always. And of course, that has an interesting connection with masks because he always wears a mask. It also has an interesting connection with the heroine's journey idea, because the Mandalorian, if you noticed, is reluctant to ask for help, but he does ask for help, and he tends to be a little bit more powerful when he has a team with him. So I'm thinking about that. I might just play a time lapse here for you and watch how the rest of the map comes, okay? Okay, so like that's my map that's kind of arrived here. And that's radial note taking or mind mapping or clustering or whatever you want to call it. You might want to try it later. Start in the middle of the paper with something, radiate out, make all the connections you can, and then use that to expand upon in your work. Okay. Thanks for watching another weird video with me. Bye.